I designed this mobility warm-up really to suit any activity or, in fact, inactivity. So if you've been sitting a while, this is a really great mobility routine that you can do that wouldn't take very long. And I'll go over the details of all the movements when we get to the other side. But I've been using this right before I do my yoga practice. I'll do this sometimes in the morning when I'm feeling really stiff. And I really enjoy doing this before I go to bed. It actually helps me sleep a lot better, and my body just feels better. So this is really accessible to all levels, and you're seeing here right now that I might be doing things that you might not find accessible, and we'll go over that when we talk about the walkthrough on the other side. But just notice any time that you feel, oh God, I just wish I could drop my heels down a little bit lower in yoga. I've had several students now use this mobility warm-up prior to their practice, and it's really been a game changer. So I'm really excited for you to try this at home, either before or after your practice, before or after your workout routine. I recommend really doing this beforehand. I think you'll really notice a big difference. So we're almost done on this right side, and we'll go ahead and go over the details of everything that I'm doing once we get to the left side. It doesn't really matter which side you start first. I've always grown accustomed to starting on the right, and so sometimes switch it up, start on the left side. And what I'll notice is when I'm doing this mobility warm-up and I go back to the downward facing dog, the side that I mobilize first, the heel is at least an inch and a half lower than the other side. So that's been universal across the board with every student that I've shared this with. So I'm really excited to share that with you as well. Okay, so we're almost done on this. And just remember, if there's anything in this video that you find that doesn't seem as accessible, you can just pull it back a little bit. Don't go quite as deep. And also those of you that have more range, I encourage you to go into the more deeper postures or deeper movements with that centralized stability in place. So really focus on not dropping into the pose, but more so working against that depth. So meaning you're holding tension against that. That doesn't mean to be tense, but really staying engaged. So I'm excited for you to all try this out, and please let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so now we're about to go to the other side. Just step that left foot to the outside of the left hand here. And you want the knee right above the ankle, rocking the hips forward and back. So as you rock it forward, you're going into the full depth of the lunge, and you just want to rock the hips about halfway back right above the knee. You're going to stay in that low lunge position, squeeze your right glute, and as said before, you can grab that back foot as an option. You don't have to. After you release, lower down to your elbows, reach back for that foot again as an option, and cranking that heel in, getting a deeper quad stretch and hip flexor stretch. Then we want to sit back on the heel as much as we can and straighten out that front leg as much as we can. Flexing and pointing that front foot will just warm up the hamstrings real nicely for you. And you want to lower that upper body down as much as possible. Then we want to come into that warrior stance and walk the body away from that front leg as much as possible, opening up the lats. That's the side body. Coming back to center, lowering that back knee down. Once you're here, you want to tuck that tailbone and twist toward that front leg. You want to scoop that tailbone, engage the glutes, really feel that opening through the psoas. As an option, you can reach back to the heel and take the front arm straight back to deepen out that side stretch. From here, we're going to lower down into what I call a pseudo split. Anytime a hip is an extension, you want to squeeze the glute. In this case, it is the right glute that you're squeezing. I like to tuck the back toes to keep the hip flexor engaged. Now we're moving into what's known in the yoga world as resting pigeon. If you can't go into full depth here while keeping the hips even, then just set a block underneath your hips here. There's no real engagement here. You're just completely relaxed. Now walk the body over to the right here, so you're lining up your navel to the heel. Come back to center, thread the needle. So I'm taking the right arm and threading it under the left and trying to stack the shoulders. Really, really challenging here. And walking the hands in, I'm squeezing the glutes again. And this is optional. I know this is pretty extreme for some of us, is that full split. And then I go into what's known as a double pigeon. Remember, knees do not twist, they only hinge. So if this is not accessible to you, just skip this one altogether. I hope you enjoy this mobility warm-up. Let me know how it goes, guys.